Mellow, hello, friends. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Happy 2023. Oops. Is it working now? Can we tell now? Oh, goodness. Good morning, friends. Good morning. What a chaotic morning it has been. Oh, welcome to my creative zone and mind. I'm not going to lie, I was super inspired last night and ended up staying up until I think about 4 a.m. So it was a little delayed for me. I do apologize. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Hope everyone's having a fantastic 2023 so far. Like, holy crap. It's been a year since we spoke. It's a new year, friends. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy how fast it happens, and we're on the roll for another one. I hope everyone had wonderful holidays. I hope everyone did all that wonderful la-di-da-di-da-di-da-di stuff that we're supposed to do. More importantly, I hope that people didn't lose their minds, because holidays are challenging. There's so many feelings and so many expectations and just so much. It's a lot to deal with. It's just, they come at you from every angle, and expectations, and the gifts and the money, and it's a lot of feelings to process. I do apologize. I need the tea. Just waking up this morning. So I'm sure some of you have seen my teacups, but if not, we've been working on teacups, normalizing feelings, and using teacups as a visually beautiful display to help with that. So we all hear the expression, self-care Sunday, self-love, self-love, I've got to fill my cup. You can't pour from an empty cup. And, there's times that you just want to say, bitch, your cup is broken. You need to fix your cup first. So I kind of made this as an example that, yeah, sometimes things fall apart. Sometimes our foundation cracks and things crack and break all around us. And that's okay, because that's just an experience we're having on this journey called life. And yeah, we need to just take those pieces and put those pieces back together and create something more magical, more realistic, something based on our beliefs, on our desires. So that's kind of what I've been working on, because, we can often, things break, things crack, and you feel like things just crack all around you and it just crumbles. And we got to pick up the pieces. We got to pick up those pieces one at a time. And yeah, we can use it as works as a great metaphor for, fixing your cup. So you can definitely fix your cup. And that's the thing though, like, trauma happens in life, things happen in life, and your foundation cracks, your foundation crumbles, shit falls apart. Like, it's just expectations, it just happens, and it can all change, and it's okay. If we sit with that trauma, if we sit and we continue just to stay with this broken cup, there's broken glass and there's shards, and it's dangerous, and it's going to hurt you, and it could hurt other people. And but when we realize that we can put that cup back together, and that we don't necessarily need all of the pieces, and that we can make something super beautiful with it at the end, it yeah, definitely comes on. So I'm not gonna lie, that little creative surge threw me right off last night. I have learned that I've been doing doing a lot of research, a lot of research. I just want to learn. I want to learn. So I've been, looking into astrology, and then, looking into my human design, and, it's pretty cool. Like, there's apparently, due to our birth charts, we can find out stuff, about us. And I pulled it up last night and I looked at it, and it was like, what does it say? How I'm led. The way you make decisions, listening to your gut. And I'm like, oh, that is so me. I so listen to my gut. I've so been just trying to, so I've kind of really just been trying to go with the flow, really trying to live my life for my purpose, and really just trying to kind of roll with those punches and go through with that. So when I was inspired to be creative last night, it messed with me. Anyone else struggle with scheduling? I can make the schedules and I can get them all up there and do all this stuff. And it's just being at home. It takes that master discipline to follow through with it. I often get distracted with things, fun things, and creative projects. And I will look for something and I'm like, and then I found this and I can make this, and oh, wouldn't that be great? And we could do this, and it'd just be so much fun. So yeah. So last night, we talk about addictions, and I've just, trying to work with people and talking about addictions, and talking about how the fact that, we are just meat sacks here having a neurological experience, and our brains release chemicals and we chase those chemicals, and those are addictions. And so I kind of made another little teacup here. But I actually used some pills to form it back together. Never get used to the backwards here on StreamYard, so sorry about that. But yeah, so I threw this together. And this is just can be an example of what happens when we try to fix our cups with addictions. It doesn't work. I'm going to try and do this facing back. And of course now it won't focus for me. I tried. I did. I absolutely tried. We'll go ahead and we'll figure that out a little bit better for next week there, so that I can have that set up for you. I need to actually get some sort of second device so that I could come in and, do an overview and show, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm talking about, this is what I'm working on. It'd be great to just be able to say, hey, this is what I'm doing, without all the crazy lights and stuff. But so this is kind of what happens when we use addictions to build our foundations back up, or we rely on those addictions, or and it can look like a functional cup, but there's no way that's going to function. There's no way it's going to function properly or be sustained like that. So it's kind of neat that we can get into that. So fun times. But also working on some of my mushroom lights. Super exciting on the weekend. I got out to do a little market on Sunday. Got to see a couple of familiar faces, and it's absolutely wonderful to get out and see everybody. And then I forgot my ice cream at the venue, and now I have to go back, so it's just an excuse. But I was excited to bring out some of my mushroom logs. So super cute. Working on these little mushroom guys. It's just been super fun. I think I have 4 mushroom lights almost complete now. Looking at a show on Saturday, super excited. So I have networked and connected with the ladies from the High Five. So I'm actually doing a little bit of, I'm doing an art show at the pole studio this weekend. So I'm super excited about that. That's Saturday night. I've got some information up on my Instagram. I'm going to try and get some information over on the Facebook page as well. So check it out, try and see that. That's going to be up. Nice. It's going to be a strip-ish night. So we're going to have pole dancing, we're going to have art, we're going to have music, and there's going to be some vendors there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Live with the High Five. Yeah, I'm absolutely going to set up a live at the High Five. So it's going to be great. I'm super excited. And networking and discussing with Sarah. And I think it's just going to be great. Yeah. And I really kind of want to get back to the networking events. Like, we miss that. Like, we miss events where we're talking and sharing and networking and working together. I think we have to try and get away from that. So try and get away from the sales-based. And when we come back and we communicate and we network and we help and we build this community, that's where shit comes together. That's where it all happens. That's where it all pulls together. That's where the magic happens. It's where we made the magic before, and it's where we can do it again. So let's do it. Still finishing off the last of this chest congestion, clearing it out. So I've been on my turmerics. I've been taking my bee pollen. I was not sure if I was saying bee honey or pollen or ballin, or I'm ballin with my bee pollen. That sounds like a whole logo there, slogan. So yeah, it's going to be super great. I realized how much I missed being out and networking and connecting and hearing people's stories and just from this and from this and from sharing stories and from talking. And it's so amazing when we actually open and we actually talk and we actually share. We can say things that lift people up, change people's lives, inspire people, save people. It's really amazing. And that's when the connections happen. I feel like in 2021, in 2020, at the beginning of 2020, I moved to BC. I tried to make a go of it there, and that didn't sit well with me. And then when I moved to California, and then coming back, and just with so much of the pandemic and with so much of the healing wounds and with just so much going on, I feel like we all just got so far away from that. And we really need to try and pull back into that, into the connections, into the talking, into the sharing. So, you know what? if I see you out, I see you out in public, I see you out at an event, I want to hear from you. I want to talk to you. I want to hear your story. I want to hear your passions. I want to know what motivates you to work with the cannabis plant, what motivates you to be healed by the cannabis plant. If we're at cannabis events, I want to hear about it. If it's art, I want to hear. I want to hear about the art. I want to hear about what you make. I want to hear about what you think you don't make and that it's not art. It's art. There's so many people that are like, oh, can I show you something? And they show me their art. And then they're like, yeah, but I'm not an artist. But it's not art. I'm like, ah, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah. We all make art. I'm a self-taught artist. I am intimidated by artists that have training. I am intimidated by the scholar artists. I am intimidated by fine artists, people that can pick up a pencil and draw a sketch or draw something. I'm like, wow, I can't do that. My art came from a passion of beautiful things, nature, poverty, not so much poverty, but I was sick. I got sick and I needed to occupy my mind. And I started just figuring out ways to make things. I watched stuff on YouTube and I was like, shit, that's cool, but I can't afford those supplies. How do I figure it out while I heal from this lupus thing on my own? So it was really great. I got to, really lean in and learn some different things. And I'm like, okay, well, my art has evolved from trial and error. It's evolved from, I don't know, let's try it. I don't know. Let's see. So many of that going on. Just trying to think of when the first time I suspended something with resin. I'm not even sure. But over the holidays, I was excited to make. I did get to work on a couple of projects back home, and super excited about this one. Again, the backwards camera, I'm not sure. So, working on this Jaeger display. And I'm not a drinker. And I don't really support drinking. I mean, to each their own, do your thing. But Jaeger has, I'm a German girl, so das ist gut, Schatzi. Yeah. Been around for years. Jaeger was medicine. My Oma, God rest her soul, would give us a little teaspoon of this when we weren't feeling well. It's 23 herbs. Same with the Alpine bitters, yeah. The herbal liquor. I mean, it literally was medicine. So in the past, as a as a teenager, going to friends' houses or, when the drinking scene started, which I was never really big into. I think I'm allergic to alcohol. I'm not righteous. I'm not anything. I cannot consume alcohol. And I don't like it. I don't like the way people are when they're on it. Sometimes it's not my jam. So, but I remember the first time, hanging around with people with drinkers and drinking, and they're like, yeah, you want a drink? You want a Jaeger bomb? You want to? And I'm like, what? I can't do that. It's medicine. It's medicine. We had Jaeger, and it's actually a running joke in my family, in my German family, after a meal or when people are around, especially, with the river or something, and they're having a couple of drinks, and, all of a sudden you'll hear someone go, oh, someone else is like, oh, are you getting sick? Do you need some medicine? Here, let me help. And out come the Jaeger shots, and we did, everyone does the Jaeger. So it has been a big piece, I guess. Jaeger's been in my life. It's been an influence in my life. So it was kind of neat to make this, have some Jaeger shot glasses. I ended up doing the clear resin in the beginning. But it just wasn't very Jaegery. It looked like watered down Jaeger. And so I was like, let's try and add. So I have been working on perfecting the color. again, a little bit difficult because I don't drink, so I don't actually have the agar here with me. So I can't really compare it to anything because it just, it's here. So I'm going to be doing some working on that, so doing some color up matches. Of course, the first time I did it, it came out a bit too purple. Then I wanted to tone it down and even it down. So because it originally was on the clear resin, and now that's the base. So it is the Agar on the Rock. So kind of neat to see that and playing around with the different elements with the resin. Want to be incorporating some lights and doing some things, but I need to find a studio to do that. So I'm currently working out of Toronto. I am house sitting for the lovely Janine. And so I'm in the city, I'm apartment sitting, and it's kind of turned into a nomad artist. I going with the flow. Working on some goals right now to possibly in future. I'd love to have a tiny home on wheels, like a mobile creation station. I think it would just be epic for me to have all of my artly, not going to say earthly anymore, artly possessions. It's all around art. Everything I own revolves around art or making art or benefiting me and selling or making art. It's pretty crazy. When I gave up the apartment to take a chance in BC with the cannabis space, yeah, I liquidated most of my belongings, and I mean, not right when I moved from then. I think it was when I came back and kind of did the in between and the stint to BC and to California. But I did kind of liquidate my stuff. So now I'm just like, wouldn't it be so amazing if I could have like a mobile creation station and, a van or some sort of large, utility vehicle that I could literally have all of my supplies in it. And I can be like, you want to work on an art project? Okay, I'll be there in a couple hours, you know? And be like, I'm going to BC. Let's work on a mushroom project. Let's go do a mushroom collab in BC. And I can load up all of my projects and all of my equipment and my supplies. I'd load it up. It'd be there because that's where it would stay. And load it all up. It's already there. Pack it all up and go. And just go and travel and go and meet people and hear their stories. And yeah, so I want to make art that makes a difference. I love making pretty things. I make art and I share my art because I have feels in here and in here. And when I can get them into a piece of art, when someone picks up that piece of art and they feel and see what I put into it, that's what it's all about. It's not about me being a good artist. It's not about clout or, validation, or I don't make my art. I make my art for me and a healing purpose. But when I share my art, I don't share my art for me. I don't share my art for likes. I don't share my art for validation. I share my art to share the story, to see if you see to see if you feel what I feel. Art invokes feeling. And I love feelings. It's all about feelings. Feel all the feels, even the bad ones. Feel them. Feel them all. From it, like my eyeball. So I brought it back, and I thought, well, I'm gonna add like a shimmery little layer of resin and just see. And then I have bad habits. Like I have bad habits of redoing pictures to go in picture frames. Well, I don't know where the picture frame is now. Or it broke the glass, or in this moving journey. And So now I have to make a picture and then find the frame to go with it. So it'd be just super awesome to have a station that I can put all of my stuff in it. And there's been many times that I've just kind of packed up my stuff and been like, okay, we're going here. Okay, we're going there. And I just go and I pack up some stuff and I put stuff in storage and I go here and I do this. And really has become that out of sight, out of mind. That's how my artistic brain works. I need it to be in front of me so that I can see it. I'm like, oh yeah. It's super entertaining. We should do a show one time when I'm trying to clean my art space. Because I'm like, oh, okay. So we'll just go ahead and we're just going to go in here and we're just going to pick this. Or when I'm looking for something, I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure it's in here. So I start digging and I'm like, oh, I forgot I have this. Oh my goodness, this is so cute. And I kept this because I can have this to this and this could be over here and we can take this. And yeah, it's a lot to keep up with sometimes. So super fun. Super fun. I want to see. Oh, look at this. Because it was last minute. Well, not last minute this morning, because I was unprepared this morning, kind of scattered. And I'm on my phone. I was like, can I figure out how to make my commercials work? Yeah, but I can't believe we've been here for 26 minutes already. Art. While talking about art, it just makes me so great. So great. But in that set, I'm going to jump in. We're going to do a quick commercial, and I'll be back, friends.
NOK Network is pleased to present Ganja News Updates. Join joint hosts Kristen, Tara, and Rob McNabb as they bring you our global cannabis news updates. Catch the Ganja News Reporters weekly on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern as they cover cannabis news from around the world in the 60-minute live video podcast. Stay up to date with Ganja News Updates, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern on Knock Network. Follow and subscribe to Knock Network on our webpage, social media, and streaming sites, including YouTube and Rumble.
Green Irene's transformative health and wellness coaching. Hypnosis, NLP, and cannabis strategies to help you help you. Retrain your brain and create the change that crafts a brighter tomorrow. If you're tired of battling behaviors and bad habits, or sick and tired of being sick and tired, or poor habits, schedule a call and discover how I can help you using hypnotherapy, NLP, and cannabis strategies. Go to www.greenirene.ca and book a call today.
Open your eyes.
Join us on Psychedelic Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Open Your Eye, our 90-minute video podcast with hosts Kim Cooper and Tara Simpson. Joint hosts sit down with patients, facilitators, lawyers, and others in the space to discuss their experiences and endeavors working with psychedelic medicine. Tune in weekly to Open Your Eye at 8 p.m. Eastern for all your news and information from the realm of psychedelic medicine. Here on Knock Network.
The Indoor Farmer with Waylon Maccabee and Sir Steve-O. The weekly progress review. find inspiration and motivation as they find out what it takes to live more self-sustainably and to laugh along with their failures and triumphs along the way. The Indoor Farmer, popularizing the subjects of self-sustainability. Be inspired. Come along on their journey as they find out what it takes to be more self-sustainable and live more self-sufficiently. Put it away for 30 minutes a day on IWK. The IWK 710 Daily Sesh is a virtual gathering where consumers meet up or a toke and some laughs at 7 p.m. Eastern nightly. Originally aired on Info with Kim's social media page, the IWK 710 Daily Sesh is now also podcasted on NOK Network. Rotating joint hosts bring you a variety of content during this 30-minute virtual smoke sesh. Take a break from the stresses in life and put it away for 30 minutes a day on IWK. Podcasted nightly at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on NOK Network.
Yeah, welcome back, everyone. Such great commercials. I'm like, wow, we have such cool stuff on our network. It's pretty cool. I need to not be distracted by my music and my art and pay attention to a schedule and start engaging more, because it's pretty cool with sustainability and retrain your brain and so many important things. So many important things we need to be focusing on instead of this whole, being the biggest and the best and the brightest and making the most money and, climbing to the top of that pile. And we have so many outdated beliefs that, we're not something unless we're successful. And success means money and business and power and money, business, and power. Yeah, I know. I spent some time, actually last week, I watched The Secrets of the Playboy Mansion. Yeah, we all fall for it. We all get caught up in the hype. We all get caught up in the stuff. And at the end of the day, it's money. People didn't want to say anything to the money. People didn't want to do anything to the money. And it's all about money. And I think we need to heal some wounds with the money. What happened to enjoyment? What happened to life and love and feeling and helping others and community and building people up? What happened to that? We've gotten away from that. We all need to have this big mansion that, my son likes to point out to me regularly about videos online about, abandoned mansions and abandoned places. And I think we need to take some time to look at stuff that, doesn't sustain and doesn't work and kind of get back to a community and a family. And, I'm going to go back to the 1/3 rule. I'm going to just preach it. There's 1/3 of the world is going to love you no matter what. Doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter what you say. Doesn't matter how many times you screw up. They are going to love you. They're your people. They're cool. You vibe with them and they're A-okay. Then you have 1/3 of the world that just isn't going to like you. They're not going to vibe with you. They're not going to agree with you. They're not going to align with you. They're just not. And it's not a negative. It's not an evil. It's not a nasty. They're just not. And then 1/3 of the world, the last third of the world, can be convinced. And I like to use my fingers and I like to use this analogy because this 1/3 of the world can be the most dangerous for us mentally, because we constantly, if we have to convince someone, I just have to convince them. I just have to convince them I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. I'm strong enough. I'm enough. And in the blink of an eye, these 1/3 of the world that we often chase, in the blink of an eye, someone else can come in and convince them that we're not enough, that we're not whatever they wanted or whatever they expected. They can convince themselves that we're not. And those are the most dangerous people because we often chase those. We often try and, cling to that 1/3 that doesn't. Yeah, and no, stick to this 1/3. Find the people you vibe with. Find the people that understand you. Find the people that hear your love language. Those are the people that we focus on. Those are the people that we strive to be with and strive to be a part of. Not this 1/3. This 1/3. So try and remember that. It's literally 1/3 of the world. Stop thinking we have to be friends with people because of location, because of convenience, or because of family, because our family's sad or we grew up together, or because of this or because of that. Start making friendships because of this. It feels good in here. And it feels good in here. And I think the world could be a magical place. I think we could build some real bonds and real creations and not be caught up in looking like the Joneses or, being cool and being caught up. And, you watch the blip on TV or something as I make art. I usually have something in the background going and, and I'm watching it. And there's just a line that came in. Do you know how expensive that is? How dare you? And I'm like, at the end of the day, if that's what our main focus is that it's worth that much money to make me worth more, I think we're fucking doing it wrong, friends. Doing it wrong. It's about what makes us vibe, what makes us feel good. Stick to those things. And that's when you're gonna find the most harmony. I'm kind of a nomad artist and I just kind of go with the flow. And I make mistakes. Things didn't work as well. That's okay. It's all about the ride, right? Enjoy it. I get to live my truth. I get to make beautiful art and share my stories with people. Watch people identify with the art and identify with the feelings. And the struggles are all worth it for that. It's perspective, right? It's how we see it. Don't get me wrong, the world's a scary place. Christmas is rough. Holiday season was rough, being back to expectations and family, and it just comes back to that 1/3 rule. My stepdad is that 1/3. Actually, I just think he's this 1/3. He just doesn't like me. We just don't vibe. We just don't get along for whatever reason, whatever it is on his end. It's just, and for so many years, I was like, well, if I do this, well, if I do this, well, maybe if I do this, well, maybe if I, well, maybe, well, what? Nuh-uh. No, that doesn't serve anyone. I made this chaotic life for myself, this trying to, that doesn't serve me. So yeah, just, bring it back to this. I used to joke with people. They would say, like, oh, your vibes are so high. How, your energy and you're positive, and how do you? And I said, like, I literally get out of bed. I wake up in the morning and I visualize this white light glowing around me and glowing from me, and it's not a joke, friends. That's what I do. I visualize the white light. I take time to come back to myself. I take time to be present with me. Take a second. Be aware. Be aware of your body. Be aware of your presence. Be aware. And when we start to listen, when we start to pay attention to that, it's pretty amazing what can happen. It's, the whole purpose can't be just to be the best at something you're supposed to be the best at and work a 9-to-5 job. And I know 9-to-5 jobs don't even exist anymore. 9-to-9 jobs. You're working 12-hour shifts. We're working 18-hour shifts. We are killing ourselves to look good for the man. And, what will Joe think? Or what will the neighbors think? And we got to get away from that. We've got to strive to live our lives for us. Ditch those expectations. Ditch those, I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of educational things. We just heard a commercial from Green Irene, retrain your brain, rewire your brain. I listen to Joe Dispenza, and we talk about, retraining the brain and rewiring that brain and just being present. We're not present. We don't take time to come back to us. These outdated beliefs, as Joe would say, our neurological system, the way we're wired is, fight or flight or rest or digest. And we don't constantly need to be in fight or flight anymore. We're not being chased by tigers and lions, and it's not a fight for survival the way that it was. So these survival instincts and these beliefs that we have, that we just do it because that's the way it's done and that's the way it was, it's just, it doesn't serve us. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not taking away from the people that lived that life and it worked for them. Times are changing. What worked for those people, what works for others, doesn't necessarily work for you, doesn't necessarily work for me. And that's okay. That's more than okay. Like, just, yeah, it's so, I just think about it. It just literally, it's crazy to me that we are still caught up in beliefs from our great-grandparents, that our great-grandparents passed on to us. And some of us hold us as tradition, and it's family, and it's this, and it's, but when we pull back, a lot of it doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit into today's society. It doesn't fit in with today's society. It doesn't fit into that. It's changed. It's all different. So I think embracing that change, getting into that and being like, it's okay. It's okay for things to be different. It's okay that I live my life differently than you live your life. We just need to get rid of those expectations and that judgment. It's really funny. I've been having conversations with people, talking to people and talking about things and about the way we live our lives. And, it's really sad because there's so many people that are just caught up in continuing to live the lives, watching people destroy their lives, watching people fall apart. And you hear them come back and say, what is wrong with them? I don't understand. What's wrong with them? Why do they still drink? Why do they still do drugs? Why do they still do this? And why can't we come back and say, what's wrong in their life? What's wrong in their heart and soul? What can we help fix? What can we make right? What can we change? Not what's wrong with them. There's something wrong. There's something. Maybe it's not wrong. Maybe it's different. Maybe it's just different than the way you live your life. I'm not talking about when it comes to, alcohol and addictions and people on these toxic and downward spirals. I'm not talking about that, but when you see your friend on a downward spiral, Don't say, I don't know how to help. They're on their own. I've tried. I don't know what to do. That mentality doesn't serve us anymore. Maybe ask what's going on. Is there something in that person's life that I can make better, that I can make easier? Is there something that I'm doing that's contributing to that behavior? Why? Why? Why do people act the way they do? And I'll have other people come back and say, well, that's none of your business. That's none of your, maybe it's not. But why do people behave the way they behave? Because of this and this. And when this and this aren't in sync, chaos happens. Chaos ensues. And then because we don't know how to deal with feelings, because we don't talk about feelings, because we're crazy to have feelings, we're too emotional, we're too, oh, you're too sensitive, oh, just, no. Feel those feels. Have those feelings. Embrace those feelings. What if we lived in a society where we were like, oh shit, okay, you're sad. I totally get that. Wouldn't it be amazing if we were in friendships and we could say, I'm kind of jealous of your situation right now. Like, honestly, it's kind of like sparking like some sort of thing in me. And then to not be told that that's a wrong feeling. Oh, get over yourself. I've worked so hard to get, what if we talked about it? And what if instead of that whole imposter syndrome, and that was my lower self speaking up, or, that wasn't my highest vibration speaking up, what if it is? What if that is your highest person saying, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of the way that you live your life. And why are people jealous of the way other people live their lives? Because they're doing things that they want to. So, wouldn't it be amazing if we could be in conversations and we could say, I'm kind of envious, I'm kind of jealous of your situation. Oh, this is how I did it. How can, you can do it too. We can get to this spot. We can, and instead it's just, I feel like we're so scattered with feelings and emotions. We don't even know what to feel because we've been told not to feel it, or we've been told it's wrong, or it's incorrect, or that's a bad thing. Like, I feel feels. Shit happens sometimes and it makes me emotional. It makes my eyes leak and I feel the feels. And I've literally been, so emotionally engaged and sparked and just so by a story or by something, and the feels and invoke, and I can just be in that situation with that person and I can feel, that makes me shed a tear. And people are like, oh, that's silly, don't feel that, don't. Why? Well, why not feel empathy for someone else? Why not show the emotion? Oh, emotions get in the way. Oh, emotions do this. Oh, emotions that. Blah, blah. Why?
The opinions and views expressed by individuals during this broadcast are their own. It may not be the opinions of the network, their group, their organizations they may be involved with.
They call me Mellow Yellow.
Quite rightly.
They call me Mellow Yellow.
Quite rightly.
They call me Mellow Yellow.
Quite rightly. They call me Mellow Yellow. They call me Mellow Yellow. They call me Mellow Yellow. And if you want cup power fill, they call me Mellow Yellow. They call me Mellow Yellow. They call me Mellow Yellow.
So let's talk about feelings and talk about honesty. Got excited about a comment. I hit the wrong button and it led into my intro. And now I was like, that's embarrassing. Yeah, kind of is. But you know what? Let's own it. Because it happens. It's life. The meat sacks having a neurological human experience. And shit happens. As humans, we make mistakes daily. It happens. So just own it. Own it. Move forward. Let's start living a real life, real based life. Like, I'm living my life in 3D now. It's all real. It's all right in front of me. It's just feel the feels. Have compassion. Have empathy. Try not to let those feels control you and take over, but listen. Listen. There's a reoccurring theme in people's mentalities, moods, and it just keeps coming up. And you hear people say like, oh, this anger, it doesn't matter what I do. This anger just doesn't, and they mask it and they hide it and it just keeps resurfacing. Sit with it. Sit with the anger. It's going to keep coming up until you fucking listen, isn't it? Like, isn't that what they say? The things keep happening for a reason? It's just, yeah. So just listen. Listen. Feel. Write it out. Talk it out. Talk to yourself. Talk to those feelings. Feel those feelings. Move the fuck on. And yeah, I would love to see us live a life of, compassion, empathy, and community, and really just networking. And wouldn't that be a magical world? Definitely would. I've heard people say like, oh yeah, we should just give everybody mushrooms. No. I don't agree with that statement. I don't want to give everybody mushrooms. I don't want to give people that are ready to see the mushrooms. I don't, yes, people can connect. Yes, people can see so many different things, but we also have to remember that our personal reality, you can't see outside of that bubble. If it's something you've never lived, felt, or experienced, unless you take the time, you can't. We don't, on a regular, just in that motion of life, going through the motions. I didn't take time to think about that. It wasn't even because I've never had to deal with that. That's not something that's in my life. It's not a regular. It's not I'm in the city. I'm relying on public transit. So for people that don't rely on public transit, when they give directions or when they say meet at a place, it's not taking public transit into consideration. Why would it? That's not their reality. They don't have to take public transit into consideration. So they don't. So it's just, little ways to think and different ways and feel the feels. Feel the feels. Feel them all. Make something beautiful. Make some art. Make some motion light. Make something. Make some meds. Make something. And see what your feels can make. See what can happen. See what can happen when we embrace that, when we lean into it, when we it's just, I think magic can happen. And network, connect. I hear people often say, oh, you're so busy, I didn't want to bother you. You're so busy, I didn't want to bother you. Maybe people are, caught up in distractions. Maybe people need that reminder. Maybe people need to know. Reach out, connect, like And just, yeah, remember, we're all doing the best that we can. So, and I heard something the other day that just, I like to call them brain bombs, because they're those things that sit in there and they just, yeah, it's just brain bombs. When we connect with ourselves, when we connect with our souls, when we connect for a greater purpose, those connections are real. We don't have to fake them. We don't have to put up facades, wear masks. We don't have to do that. We come from a place of love. We come from a place of connection and feeling and empathy, and, you know, treat others as you would like to yourself be treated. Pretty simple. It can make the world go round. We're here together, so, you know, my mom used to tell me, right? You have to go to class. Might as well fucking do the work. We gotta live the life. You might as well fucking enjoy it. The best we can, even the shitty moments. Enjoy it. So, I've been practicing 40 days of Ho'oponopono, and I've waking up in the morning. I've added it to my morning routine, and I wake up, I say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And it's just a prayer that, when repeated, hopefully will help open our eyes and hopefully bring some awareness and send out the energies and just help correct some of the social injustice that are going on. And so, from the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I love you. If someone in your life has made a mistake, if something happened and you have that gut feeling, you have that keeps researching, keeps coming back up, there's a reason. Listen. And, you know, go forth with compassion and empathy, and really try and remember that we are all just meat sacks having a neurological experience. So, much love, friends. I'm so glad you could join me. Thank you. Thank you for my little blurbs and my accidents and my last minutes. And thank you for being here. I effing love every one of you. Thank you. Have a great day, friends. Oh, see, and now I have to see, how do I get out of this again? And how do I put my...
They call me Mellow Yellow.
Quite rightly.
They call me Mellow Yellow.
Quite rightly.
They call me Mellow Yellow.
Quite rightly. They call me Mellow Yellow. They call me Mellow Yellow. They call me Mellow Yellow. And if you want cup power fill, they call me Mellow Yellow. They call me Mellow Yellow. They call me Mellow Yellow.